Whoa, what's going on, everybody? Primetime Fits is live on two different forums right now. For the first time, what we're doing today, not only are we live on the YouTube, but we are also live on the Facebook. So just trying into some new stuff. As you can see, we're missing somebody. We're missing him. But he is doing some loads, so he might be here by the end of it. We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. The thing is, we're running solo today. So we got some people in the house already. What's going on, Timmy Turbo? What's going on, Timmy? Timmy's actually been going back and forth between not only Primetime Fits, like with FUBAR and everything like that. He's also been going to Unapologetic Instructors, which that's a really big, really cool one that what we're dealing with right now. Really, really cool. I really like it. The stuff of what we're doing on there is something that, what you guys know, because most of you guys have seen it, is this stuff has never been done before, meaning that you have a multiple amount of people that what we do all contributing to the same page, which ends up being awesome to me. I think this has a lot of potential because, I mean, heck, we've been seeing some of these, some of the lives of what we've been doing with Burger King Thursdays, Train Up Tuesdays, Black Fridays, like all of these different videos and these lives of what we're doing. We're getting a lot of people that are coming into it, and we have people that are coming over obviously from Primetime Fits. We're having people come from there over to the words need to come out the mouth. Also go over to Unapologetic, because this is all just one big collaborative, which is really cool. Let's see here. Justin don't hang out with us much anymore. He does. Justin is he's obviously coming off of where he was hurt with his back, but normally he's here. Last week we would have actually done FUBAR, which I wanted to say I apologize to everybody. We didn't do FUBAR last week. A friend of ours, it was his birthday. We went and did that, but these things happen. What we were going to do is we were going to do a video, and we were just going to put that video up, kind of like the best of FUBAR. But as you know, Primetime Fits ends up being lazy sometimes. So that didn't happen. So this week we end up just doing me solo. It was going to be solo, or we were going to actually do it together up until almost about a few hours ago. And then he ended up having to take a load and roll out. But I understand. But so let's see some other clickies there. So what's up, truckers and local OTR? What's going on, Slip Dog 04 Jump Seat? Appreciate you coming into the channel, man. I know that this channel, the content, we need to start putting out more content, and we have a new series. Go check it out with trucking stories. If you guys have any trucking stories, now I know there's a lot of people that are out here that are truck drivers. If you guys have these trucking stories, hit me up. We'll try to set something up like live wise, like we do something like this where I'll bring you in and we do it kind of remotely where you talk about a trucking story. We know that truck drivers, man, obviously we like to talk. So, I mean, we want to bring in those stories because we know we can tell stories for days, guys. We tell stories like, I know Twisted, he's got some crazy stories. Actually, I need to bring him on to do his story of whenever he had that car basically do a Dukes of Hazzard and try to take him out. So like that's a good trucking story. The whole community as a whole, we have just a shit ton of freaking stories. I'll tell you that. But anyway, but we're gonna keep going here. I'm not neglecting anybody over on the Facebook side, so you guys know I'm doing this and this at the same time. Not neglecting anybody on the Facebook side. Oh, what's going on, Dad? Yep. We are going live on Facebook and we're going live on YouTube. So if you guys end up wanting to be interactive with it, I know you guys are sending some messages and everything on the live chat on Facebook. If you guys jump over to Primetime Fits on YouTube, we can actually jump over here and we can be more interactive as well. I'm going to try to keep going back and forth with this. But like I said, this is something new. So, but hold on. Was it Timmy Turner pointed out the yellow room last night? I believe so. It wasn't peg leg, but yeah. Timmy has no filter. I'll tell you that right now. Timmy definitely has no filter. But that was a lot of fun yesterday. It was a lot of fun to see that. Obviously, just another side of truck driving. Because I mean, the thing is, we don't always out there driving trucks. Like we have the vacation times, everything like that. We want to where we actually end up going. So like this is just between this channel and Unapologetic, it humanizes the instructors. It humanizes this whole industry, and that's what we really want to do is push this industry. And because we all know what's going on, Nick? We all know that, and Nick can even tell you the thing is with this industry, we weren't really told about this stuff like we've been going through high school and everything like that. So these situations or this whole industry as a whole, we weren't told. If it hadn't been for the fact that like I had grandparents that were in the trucking industry, we really wouldn't have known it. So this is getting it out there to bring in the future of truck driving, to be like, hey, this is stuff that we have fun with. It shows the culture. It shows the culture of really like with Prime. So, I mean, it shows the full culture of how Prime ends up being a family that way. But yep, Timmy Turbo said, yep, he was. He's like, I claim it. It was me. I'm curious, when you're out trucking by yourself, do you ever start an argument with yourself because you miss talking to people? Who wins? You know what? Timmy, I hate you, man. But shoot, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to actually start training. Whenever you're out there, you're going to start like having conversations with yourself. Now, whenever yourself starts arguing that's whenever it's time to, come off the road for a bit. You might want to reset, because whoever ends up losing that argument, there's no winner, honestly. Because I mean, there's been times like driving down the road and I would be like, I kind of want to do this. You know what's going to happen whenever you do that. No, that's not what's going to happen. It happened last time. That goes back and forth. I shit you not. It is, it's not pretty. But I would say, who usually wins? I win, but then I lose. I don't like losing. And it's never a good situation. Oh, what's going on, Team Martin? What's up, Fitz? Hope all is going good. Everything is going good, my friend. Hope everything is going well with you. I think what you're saying, when you were going to a different company, obviously because it was getting pushed back on so everybody thinks that there's a hiring freeze going on. It's not a hiring freeze. We're capping the amount of people of what we're bringing in at this time. We had I think it was like 75 people total between the three different locations, between Springfield, Pittston, and Salt Lake City. So all of these places together, we were having issues to where there were people that weren't showing up, but then we also were having a truck issue, as with the rest of the industry is right now. So in order to make sure that people aren't necessarily just staying here and waiting for trucks, we capped the amount of people that we're bringing into orientation That way that at the end of the day, it ends up benefiting the students that are coming through the program because they're going to be able to actually have a truck and they're not going to just have to sit and wait. It also helps Prime in the sense too that they're not going to have to pay you while you sit and wait, but that's just how it goes. But as of right now, I know that especially with T Martin, he applied and it ended up having to being pushed back to, I want to say, the October timeframe. Right now, that's the tentative area. I would say right around October 1st or so is when we'll probably end up boosting back up the numbers. So you guys can still apply. This isn't saying that there's a hiring freeze. You guys can still apply, but just know that you're going to end up having to probably come back in or come in probably around the October timeframe. But yeah, sorry, Team R. I really hope so. I was really hoping for you to come through Springfield and us end up seeing each other. But if you end up coming through Springfield, man, hit me up. Hit me up on, obviously I got the Facebook going on. Hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up through my email, which my email is actually attached in the link on the description. Hit me up. We can meet up. We can do a video. And I know that Jonesville Dirty would love to do a video with you as well, man. We can end up doing a video and everything like that. So hit us up anytime that you come through Springfield. As you know, any company that you go through, honestly, you're probably going to end up going through Springfield at one time or another because of I-44 being the major thoroughfare that it is. Oh, let's see. I have local trucking, sanitation stories, but it doesn't fit OTR. Your stories are more interesting. No, man, this is all part of the trucking industry. I mean, you have the local guys, you have sanitation, everything's CDL. Man, if you end up having a story or what have you, shoot me an email and we'll look about the story. Then we'll talk about it on live, or we'll talk about it. We'll do something like this. I'll loop you in and we'll talk about the story. We'll clip it and we'll turn it into a video. We can do that. That's no problem, man. Any story, obviously it pertains to trucking, just maybe a stinky side of trucking, but it's still trucking regardless. Hit me up. We'll still use it. Argue with yourself over where to eat. Yes. Honestly, that is been one of the bigger time, or one of the bigger arguments that you have with yourself out there. Like, man, I want to go to this TA over here because that TA ends up having better showers. But I don't want to go to that TA because the last time I had a hard time parking there. Oh, but their food there sucks. The Loves over here has Carl's Jr. I really like Carl's Jr., but man, I can't get the shower over there because their showers weren't that bad or weren't that good last time. That conversation happens on a flipping normal. Or like I'll sometimes be driving right down the road and say, oh, hey, there's that TA over there. It's like, I don't necessarily want to go over there, but then I go anyway. It's weird how that crap works, man. If it weren't for my uncle being in trucking, I would be a lot of Americans thinking truck drivers are drugged up, having dirty low lives. That, unfortunately, yeah. See, and even I grew up with a grandfather that did local truck driving. So he did a lot of runs going up and down in California. I didn't even really hear about the lot lizard stuff until I actually got into the OTR side. This and going through popular culture and everything like that, like seeing, I watch a lot of History Channel, a lot of documentaries, which I end up listening to a lot of stuff too. That's another thing. Whenever you're going out on the road, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I listen to a lot of audio, documentary stuff and everything like that. It keeps my mind occupied, but I've always been big on history. So the whole trucking culture is one thing that I would say right now is on a downgrade, but we're trying to bring it back up. There was a lot of, and paper logs had a lot to do with that, with guys that were high on speedballs that were just running 72 hours at a time, with no sleep. That was something that definitely happened, and it happened because of the paper logbooks. Whenever you had basically an unlimited clock, because based on whatever logbook that you were using, one of 5, you could end up basically running yourself into a grave, to be honest. And that's why this industry is going to what it is right now with the electronic logs and everything like that. But all of those, we'll call them old heads, all those old heads are on their way out. If they haven't retired at this point, they're about to, or they're about to age out. So those guys, I think that with them getting out of truck driving is going to really pave a way for a lot of the newer drivers to change the thought process on it. COVID really helped with that. COVID, because you started seeing a different side of where there was a lot of people that were out there in support. I saw the same amount of support that I did through truck driving that I did whenever I was in the military. I was like, this is weird. I remember this, but it wasn't for driving a truck. It was crazy. But all in all, like, that's a big change. Honestly, one of the biggest things that pushed these changes was women in trucking. If it hadn't have not been for women in trucking, we wouldn't have the nice facilities or the nicer facilities what we have at some of these truck stops. We wouldn't have that. So it was like whenever you had a lot more females that were coming into the industry, it made everybody have to change to where you had the nicer things. So, I mean, I think that's another really big change. Sorry, going off on a tangent, but that's what we're doing. It's FUBAR. We're maybe going off on tangents today because I don't have someone over here kind of turning me back where I need to be. So we might be going all different kinds of places. The truth is the opposite. Yeah, that's what it ends up being. It's scary. What's it like driving new trucks? I am driving 20 years. Truck with no AC, breakdown all the time. My job stinks. New trucks, man. Some of these new trucks that are coming out, like the amount of technology that's going into these trucks is the same amount of technology that's going into the cars that end up being like $125,000 to $200,000. We had lane departure systems before a lot of these automakers ended up having them. So these newer trucks, man, these things are so nice. Go check out one of my videos I did on the I think it was a 2022 Peterbilt 579 Ultra Loft with the LED, the dash display. Go check that video out, man. We're at 11,000 plus views on that video alone. Go check out that video, man. That video, like, you see the technology and you see the comforts on it and everything like that. That's a big one. But yeah, those driving new trucks, man, I love it. I will say this, I do miss my manual, but then there's other days that I don't. But the amenities and everything like that inside, the TVs, all the electronics, all the plugins of what you can have, these things, it's like a home away from home, honestly. Oh, let me get over here to Facebook real quick. So, what's going on, Corey? Corey Niehaus. If you come in, okay, hold on. If you come in, do you have to get a restriction on a CDL? Oh, that's a question from Nick. If you come in, do you have to get a restriction on a CDL? The only restriction that what you have to have right now is because of the fact that we don't have a lot of manual trucks that are left in the fleet, you're going to have that automatic restriction on there. That ends up being really the only deal. That ends up being really the only big thing when it comes to it. You're going to have that restriction. Can you get that restriction off? Absolutely. You can go to your go back to your home state. You can either rent a truck or find someone that has a manual truck, and all you got to do is just take a drive with DOT in that manual truck, and we'll take that restriction off. So that's all you have to do to get that restriction taken off. I've seen quite a few people do it. I've even seen some people, very few and far between, but I've seen some people get their license here at Prime without having the automatic restriction on it. So, but that's that is very, very rare. If you come in and say that you want to have a manual, it's not going to happen. It's just very rare that we have a PSD instructor that will come in that will say, hey, I have a manual. Who wants to learn how to drive a manual? And like everybody in the class throws their hand up, obviously. Some of them don't, though. I think they're still scared about it. Corey asked, Corey said, haven't seen one lot lizard yet. It's safe out here. He's never been to West Memphis. If you go into Memphis, everybody in the OTR guys, you guys know about that Memphis that loves, that is just down the way from the FedEx drop yard. You're going to find them there. I'll tell you that right now. You will find them there, and they're not the ones that you want to find. I will promise you that. They're out there, but I very rarely, I think it's also because the stuff that I have on the side of the truck too, because of the background that I have with law enforcement, that you see that on the side of the truck and they are very reluctant probably to knock on the door. But then also too, I'm a pretty freaking heavy sleeper. So I mean, with that APU running, with the reefer running, knocking on a door ain't really going to wake me up unless you're pounding on that damn door. But normally whenever I go to park somewhere, it's pretty nice parking area. So, I mean, it's very rare that you would get those, especially in the middle of nowhere. I like to park in the middle of nowhere outside of the city, not necessarily for that reason, but because I don't have to deal with traffic in the morning. I can wake up. It's a little bit cleaner air. That's what I like to do. I like to stop either just outside of the city or just before the city. That way, all I have to do is just go through, or I'm already through it in the morning. Hold on. So I plan on applying with Prime. The other company was trying to have me sign up for flatbed. I want nothing to do with flatbed. My man. See, there's no one over here to yell out FBG. I like that. So what you want with flatbed isn't all that bad. The thing is, my biggest thing has always been, and obviously Nick over here on Facebook, Nick was a flatbed guy, still is a flatbed guy. But me personally, the way I look at things, coming to Prime is primarily a reefer company. That's what Prime is. That's Prime's bread and butter. I came to Prime because it was a reefer company. If I wanted to go to a flatbed company like TMC, Milton, those kind, I would go to them. Or what's the other one? Maverick. I would go to them, but I didn't necessarily want to do it. The thing was, I knew that I tend to take the easy way out on a lot of things. If I knew that all I had to do was get out of the truck and go back there and shut the doors and make sure that it maintains the temperature from here to my delivery location, I'm going to take the easy way. Ratcheting the straps and everything like that, yeah, that's keeps you in shape. But I'm in shape, just it's a bulbous shape. I just never really wanted to deal with the strap side of it. It's just, I knew that me securing the load with it being secure inside of the box, I was better with that. Whenever I would have to strap, if I have to strap something down or chain it down, my anxiety, I would always be looking out that window to see, is everything still strapped in right? Is everything, like, I would be checking all the dang straps and chains on a constant basis to make sure that it wasn't going to fall off. It's just like, So that's why I was like, I might as well just not do the flatbed deal. I did the flatbed exam whenever I came through PSD with Prime, but that was about it. I was like, nope, I came in for reefer. I'm staying reefer. What's going on, Sean? So Sean is actually one of the guys that I came through on. It was in my PSD class. We were the last two that were actually left at Prime. I guess I'm the last one, because he left and he's doing his own thing. But nice to see you on here, man. Hey, jump on over to YouTube, man. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe my stuff. As Timmy Turbo, actually, I'm sorry, Peg Leg normally says, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell. Get this stuff out to people, man. Like, and I know that the amount of content that's on this page isn't what it is on the other ones, but It is informative, and we're going to have a lot more of it going on. Let's see, I guess some other questions. Pegler, I lived in my manual in the mountains. I'm guessing you said I loved my manual in the mountains, but love the auto in the city. I'm torn between them. I agree. Whenever I first came down with an automatic down one of the grades, having that descent assist, what they had, I was very reluctant to be. I'm like, I'm not in control of this truck. I didn't feel like I was in control. If I was in the manual, I knew that I could put it in a gear and I could hold that gear going down. I knew what gear I needed to be in, and I maintained it. With the automatic, your RPMs go high, and you're worried about the RPMs going high. It's just that but now that with the descent assist, like I can basically go downhill and cruise control, and it'll keep me plus or minus 5 miles an hour of the cruise control that I set it at. So I like that side of it. Let's see here. One of the last little questions we're here, then I'll let you guys know what's going on at Prime this coming up week. There's a lot of lounges here in Vegas. Best advice, best at advice I can give you. You don't want to do that. Pick up a curling church. They're more fun. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you may pick up that girl or get that lot lizard, but yeah, you're paying for something, but you're going to end up getting something that you didn't pay for. Almost guaranteed. You're going to get robbed, or you're going to get some kind of nastiness that's going to make stuff fall off, and you're not going to like the result. So just stay away from that stuff, man. And the thing is, that's another side of it too, is like truckers against trafficking is a very big deal. We're a big supporter of it over here at Prime. When it comes to a lot of with the lot lives and everything like that, there's a lot of it was human trafficking. With human trafficking, as bad as what it is, you don't want to be involved with it. And the thing is, especially if you look at some of how human trafficking works, this is just, it's evil. It's just pure evil. And contributing to that, whether or not you get something at a truck stop or something like that, you're contributing to that 14 or that 15-year-old being abused, and you don't want to be a part of that. Truckers against trafficking. If you guys see something, say something. There's a phone number that you can call that goes to their kind of hotline kind of deal, that they will actually get the police over there in a way that what they can help out that person that's there, or that girl that may end up being in a situation that she can't get out of. So be the solution, not the problem. What's going on, Kirsty? Fitz and all 5 of them. But we're live on Facebook as well, Kirsty. Like I said, we're still live over here on Facebook. What's going on, everybody? We got 3 people over here. We got 5 people over here. We got 8 people total. Wow, not that many. Timmy Turbo says, "What's up, Kirsty? We got to get you on here to do some chit chatting on women in trucking and how, like, the stories of what I know that what you have, because we tapped into a little bit of the stories at one of our lives, and being a published author of what she is, like, there's quite a few stories, man. But you guys go check out Trucking Along with Kirsty. Go check out her page. She has a lot of really cool content. So this week at Prime, we are going to be having this next Friday, obviously not this Friday because it's over. But this next Friday, we're going to be having the Truck Driving Championships qualifier over in Springfield. This time, I'm going to try to take the GoPro out. We're going to try to get some video this time. I'm going to be in it. Hopefully, I'll do better than what I did last time, because this last time I sucked. Pissed me off. Especially for a competition that doesn't have any backing in it. And I was just kind of like, even me, I'm very good at backing. I can do that stuff. But I was just like, how did I not qualify just driving forward? That was not a high point for me. But we'll have the Truck Driving Championships. And we are also going to be having the company picnic. This is the first time we've had the company picnic since COVID. This is something that is it's a lot of fun. It shows the Prime family aspect. Prime is very much a family oriented company. It's what it is. This is, and a lot of people, unfortunately, whenever everybody was coming through in during the COVID time, there wasn't. Sorry, my hat's messing with me. We didn't have the family atmosphere of it. So we had a lot of people that even came into Prime and left Prime that weren't able to get that family atmosphere. The picnic is one of those deals, man. Whenever Robert parties, man, we party hard. But we're going to be doing that. We're going to have the Pride and Polish, which the Pride and Polish is basically, you're showing off the truck. It's like a car show for trucks. They have it set up, and you got a best of class, best company truck, best lease truck, best owner op. All of that stuff is a lot of fun. You get a lot of really cool trucks that come out here, because that's one thing that what Prime has that a lot of other companies don't, is that Robert allows the driver to customize that truck. So, I mean, you have a lot of different paint schemes. I mean, hell, for the most part, we're called the Skittle fleet for a reason. There's not just one set color. Like it's across like every color of the damn rainbow. But it is a lot of fun to actually to see all the different trucks. It brings everybody up in the family atmosphere again. We do end up having a lot of really good food as well. Obviously, you guys know food, but we have a lot of food coming in. A lot of times, whenever we have the company picnic, we end up doing crab legs as well, because that's one thing everybody loved going to the company picnic was for the damn crab legs. Robert spares no expense when it comes to these things. Obviously, there's an open bar. I don't drink, but I know a lot of other people do, and especially they will line up whenever it's free drinks. So it is that side of it. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun. Let's see what I check over here onto the Facebook side of things. Oh, my brother's in here. What's going on, Corey? Bethany Spencer. What's going on, Bethany? We got some questions over here. My bad, guys. I'm trying to focus on talking to you guys, not talking down here and staring at myself on the screen. So give me a little bit of leeway. Slipdog04 says, "Hey, Kirsty, you have some great videos too." That's what I'm saying, man. Go support the entire community, man. The whole trucking community. We have so many of these videos and so many of these channels. Just help us out. Help everybody out. Remind Justin to buckle up for trophies. Oh, I definitely will remind him to buckle up for trophies. Buckle up for trophies. Everybody knows the story on that side of it, but basically he was going to go. He was actually score-wise, he would have been top 3 at the last truck driving championship that we did, except he forgot to put his seatbelt on. So, and he blames it on the music, he blames it on this other stuff, but the fact was, he didn't put your seatbelt on. But he is definitely probably going to remember to do that now. If it ain't, we're going to rip him a new one on the live that is going on right after it. I will tell you that it will happen. Let's see here. Yep, monkeypox and STDs is out there. Don't do the lot lizards. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, monkeypox. I'm pretty sure isn't an STD, but you're going to get something else. You're going to get that gonorrhea persiflage. That stuff's going to fall off. Like I'm telling you. Slim Dog 04 Jump C said, "Can I ride with you for a week to see if I like OTR?" I would think no, liability too high. The liability is not necessarily too high, man. And I mean, the thing is, and coming out here and ride with me, you're not going to go very far because I stay in Springfield and get people their license. But the driving or the liability side of it, there's really not all that much liability. Prime has really good insurance when it comes to everything. So I mean, there's really isn't all that much liability. You end up being fairly well covered when it comes to getting your or having the insurance on it. If there ends up being a claim on a load, as long as you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, like maintaining the temperature on the unit, you end up being just fine. You're not going to have any issue. I've had loads complete loads rejected. I didn't have any issue because Prime has that covered. Their insurance is going to cover that. There's really isn't there. Like I said, there's not that much liability whenever it comes to it. But bring your common sense. I know it's not a commonly issued item, but bring your common sense. It's going to be useful. Yeah, you're going to be the plus one now, dude. So I don't know, man. Like you left the family. I don't know if we can allow you back within the family. You know what I mean? John Gonzalez, what's up, people? What's going on, John? How you doing? Timmy Turbo said Justin can blame whatever he wants, but we know he was thinking about unicorns. I told him it's exactly what he was doing. He was looking out in the field because we're both of us are unicorn questers, which is something that's funny. But there's a college that literally gives out these free certifications to be a unicorn quester. It's fun, but I'm sure he was looking for unicorns, man. Like I'm pretty sure his head was on a swivel. If you've seen some of the video, I've seen him do it. He was also dancing in that truck too, because you get Justin going on with music. It's just he's just gone. But anyway, so that's what's going to be going on this coming up week at Prime. I think it's going to be a really good week. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to go. It's been a while. But what I wanted to give you guys an idea, and this maybe turn this into a little bit of a clip. If you guys have any questions, make sure you guys go ahead and ask the questions in here so we can get some different questions asked on here. Peg says, remind us what unicorn questing is. Unicorn, so it's unicorn hunting, but there is a college that is the Great Lakes College, I think is what they call it, that you go you give them your information, they send you this it looks like a diploma. It says certified unicorn quester, and it gives all the different reason or what you have to wear, what you can't do, that like all kinds of craziness. But basically, you can hunt unicorns, which is interesting to me. But it's obviously it's almost like hunting Bigfoot. But that's what unicorn questing is. But so I want to give you guys an idea of. So you guys come into Prime, right? We want to give you guys an idea of what the actually, let's think of this way. Let's think of another truck driving story let's do truck driving stories. So I'll give you this story. So I had a lot of these things end up being whenever. Oh no, hold on. Because I got so many of them. Not really. But yeah, here, okay, I just got in my truck. It was December, about 6 years ago, in December, going down into Oklahoma City. And if you guys know anything about Oklahoma City ends up having a few times every 5 years that they end up having a really bad ice storm. And you can see it coming, like they know it's coming. The thing is, apparently everybody in Oklahoma City still wants to drive whenever they know that this is coming. So what ends up happening with it, this happens, it ends up being very icy. So what I do is what everybody should do. You get off the road. So we got off the road. Got off the road, parked at a TA just outside of Oklahoma City on I-35 and 44. Parked there, went inside, took a shower. Coming back out, and the whole front end of my truck was gone. That was the day that I realized the reason why you do not park on the end spot on a turn. If you have a lot, if you have all these different parking spaces, don't park on the end spot that's near the turn where someone has to turn. Because every time you will get your nose taken off. And that's exactly what happened to me. So not only did I get my nose taken off, the guy took off, which happens, I understand. But when he did that, he also did that in an area to where I actually have friends in with the Oklahoma City Police Department that when I called them, like, hey, like this guy hit me. The thing is, they were dealing with so many accidents at that time. They had well over 200 accidents within the span of about 3 hours. So they were like, hey, like coming over tomorrow, we'll take care of the report. But yeah, the guy hit the truck, took off, ended up going 3 truck stops down the road, and they caught him there. But they caught him there the next day. So yeah, that was interesting. It was a live and learn kind of situation. You know what I mean? It's like you don't park on an end spot. Park in the middle somewhere, but don't park on an end spot. From this day, I do not park on an end spot. But that's one trucking story. So, John, if you go, I just talked about this earlier in the live. Word is that Prime is having a hiring freeze in September. It's not a hiring freeze in September. What we're doing is it's capping it right now. It's not a freeze. We're capping it. We're pushing people out that already had a date for right around this time period. What we're doing is we're limiting the amount of people we have coming in per week. So whenever you guys see that, just know that it's not a hiring freeze. You just may have to apply, and they may end up giving you like a October or September. Obviously September, because we're only about a week and a half away from. I'm actually half a week away from September anyway, but more likely you're going to have an October orientation date, and those dates are going to keep getting pushed back if you guys don't hurry up and get your application in. So Pegler says, in about 2004, I was dropping a load in Galveston, Texas, with 2 inches of snow fell. I called the review and was told that the city was shut down. Yeah, that's a funny. So when I was in the military, I was stationed. One of the places I went to, I was stationed in San Antonio, Texas. So the guys. So if you guys don't know anything about when it came to especially the Navy with Master at Arms, whenever we go to a tech school or A school, that A school is in San Antonio, Texas. So I ended up going down to San Antonio, Texas in the wintertime, and they had an ice storm. Now, when they, especially down in South Texas, you get any kind of ice that even looks like similar to ice, like everything shuts down because they don't know how to drive. To be honest, they don't know how to drive whenever it's dry, let alone whenever you put ice on the road. So me and a couple of my buddies, we had just got done with class, and we were going to go to the Riverwalk, and we're trying to hail a cab. We can see the cab is about almost a quarter mile away. And we know that he would have to start slowing down now if he was actually going to get it to us without sliding going past us. Yeah, he didn't do that. He just kept coming, hit the brakes like he normally would, and slid about almost a quarter mile that way. So that was interesting. Another snow one that I had, this was also in the military. When I got stationed in Oklahoma City, this would have been Christmas Eve 2009. Yeah, Christmas Eve 2009. Whenever you get snow in Oklahoma City, not only do you get ice first, then you get snow. So you'll get freezing rain. That freezing rain will turn into snow. So the problem with that one was I was on post. So I was out on post waiting to get relieved. Obviously Christmas Eve, like you're wanting to get relieved, you're wanting to go home. But at that time, like I wasn't married yet. I didn't have all my family was out in California. So I didn't know I wasn't going to go anywhere. But the the snow fell. Whenever the snow started falling, our relief wasn't able to get there till the next day. So we're stuck out there, and we're watching this snow that just is piling up. We're talking that it ended up being close to around 2 to 3, about 2 inches, about 2.5 inches of ice. And then on top of that, we had snow drifts that were pushing almost 7 foot. And what sucks is we're on a flight line, so we're on a restricted area of a flight line, so we had to try to allow people to, like, snowplows to come in. The snowplows weren't allowed to come into a taxiway without us going out there and approving them. But the truck that the Navy gave us was a 2-wheel drive Chevy Silverado with nothing in the back, so there was no traction. So we had to basically play Eskimo and trek out to the limit line, which ended up being, that was almost about a quarter mile to walk all the way out there in snow that I swear was up to my hips, that we're waving at them halfway over there like, you're good to go, just we don't want to walk anymore. But those were fun. But we're going to start getting into this snow situation, man. And the thing is, when it comes to truck driving, be the captain of your own ship. That's exactly what you need to be, the captain of your own ship. So if it starts to snow and you're uncomfortable with it, stop, pull over. There's no load that is so important that it won't cool off in a ditch. So it's give me 1 second. What's going on? What's going on, Patrick? That was another student of mine. He's over on the Facebook side. Melissa Wilcox, that's one of my friends that was over at Department of Corrections. Whenever I came out of the military, I went to my first job was at the Department of Corrections. So, that's a job that I don't miss. Tim Hickok, what's going on, buddy? So, DOC like that. I will say something. If you end up wanting to be a decent officer, decent police officer, you need to be in corrections first, because that will teach you how to use your gift of gab. Let's see here, John Gonzalez. It's like the Grapevine or Highway 58 through Tehachapi, California. You get the ice first and then the snow. Black ice gets real sketchy. That's the truth. I grew up around this area, and I know exactly what you're talking about, especially going into Tehachapi, because you're talking about 58 going into Tehachapi, that it's a fairly decent grade. And when you start getting up to the top and it's that snowy, icy mix, like you start sliding around. Like it ain't fun. But if you have, like, that's one of the things that's most important about this is that pre-plan. Like look at your weather for the route that you're going. If you look at your weather for the route that you're going, you're not going to be surprised. If you know that this area up here is prone to snow, then when you get up close to it, look at the area, look at the weather. Is it still snow? Okay, then you slow back, try to find an alternate route. Or if it starts snowing and you get uncomfortable, pull off in a safe area, sit there and wait it out. Prime will pay you to sit there and wait it out. I can't speak for other companies, but Prime will pay you. Going over I-80 in the wintertime over Wyoming, it's a crapshoot on whether or not that sucker's even going to be open. And even the same thing with I-70. We're starting to get into that area. I wouldn't doubt here probably within the next, I would probably say around end of September, early October is whenever we're going to start seeing some decent snowstorms up in Wyoming. The other thing is too, like here, I believe it's September 1st, I believe, is actually whenever the state of Colorado requires all the truck drivers for us to have chains on our trucks. So it's getting about that time, guys. Everybody was like I'm wanting winter to come back. I am a cold climate dude. I like the cold. I don't like the heat. With the heat, there's only so many clothes you can take off before you start offending people. And I start offending people as soon as I do that. So I personally, I like the cold. I can add more clothes on. I like it. I like being warm. I like my sweatshirt. You got me in pants and my sweatshirt and my boots. I am a happy dude. Not whenever it's stupid hot and I'm sticking to myself and it's just, no, that's not fun. Speaking of snow and ice, what was your opinion on snow socks? I don't like them. I don't like them, Russ. I really don't. The reason why I don't like them is that, and they have done testing on these things before, right, guys? The socks, they've tested them, but the thing is, I think that that's more so like it's almost like a novelty kind of thing. Everybody likes them because they didn't want to throw their chains on. The chains are what's going to end up giving you the best traction. People like the socks, but the thing is, if you don't have a constant amount of snow that's on the ground, the thing is, what we know with the snow that's ended up being on the ground, right underneath that's that asphalt. So if you end up having some ice melt that's over the top of that and you've gone down to the asphalt, that's going to tear up those socks, man. It's not going to necessarily tear up the chains, but it'll tear up those socks. And those socks are expensive. I just think I'm steering clear of that. I think it's like a gimmick. It's like a flash in the pan kind of deal. Tim Hickok says, "Hey, I know you. Hey, I know you." Shoot, that's one thing too. Like that was Tim. Not only whenever he came in, but there was like two other people that came in from him. So I mean, like you damn near, if you do everything right, you damn near have your own mini fleet, bro. That just ticked me off. Why? Because I had the Niner hat on. Like someone vandalized your hat. Man, shut the hell up. Let's see here. But yeah, that's my opinion on the snow socks. When I was a young kid, we were riding quad runners a little close to Nellis Air Force Base. We had a fighter jet chase us out of the area. Scared the shit out of me. Never rode there again. Yeah, stay the hell away from Nellis, bro. Like you don't want to mess with those dudes. Like that's one thing you just don't want to do. I can just imagine Timmy's like, "Ooh, that's Maverick. Maverick's gonna get me." Give me cabbage in the snow at night over Texas ice storm. That's the truth. Because one thing you got to realize too, guys, whenever you get into some of these places that aren't used to having snow, that means their DOT and their highway maintenance crews aren't used to having to treat this stuff. So it's going to take longer to get that area to where it's passable. If you go over I-70 going over Vail and Loveland Pass going over into Denver, they get snow on a constant basis, man. Like that is something that they do on a regular. So they're going to get their big equipment out there. They're going to get that stuff taken care of really flipping quick. So, I mean, that's one thing that you're not going to have to deal with it as much, or it's going to get cleared out pretty quick. But if you go through Texas and they don't even have a snow plow, that might be an issue. You're going to be waiting a while, and they ain't going to do it right because then they're going to rip up the ground. But yeah, I would definitely take cabbage over an ice storm in Texas any day. Shoot, I was in here's another trucking story. I was actually down in Dallas, or just outside of Dallas. This would have been last year. Around February timeframe. They had a very bad ice storm that was in Dallas, just outside of Dallas, towards Denton, and they had that big, huge wreck that I'm sure some of you guys saw on Facebook and YouTube and everything like that. That massive pileup. I think it ended up killing like 4 or 5 people. That it was a nasty pileup, and that was just a sheet of ice. And I was there. I was in the. I was actually at the TA. I think it's a TA in Denton. It's a TA in Denton. And I was sitting there, and I go to get out of the truck in the morning, and I can't get any traction whatsoever. I woke up, and I told my students, "said we ain't moving." Called my fleet manager, told him, "said Hey, that this right now it's way too slick. It's way too dangerous." 10 minutes later, we see I hear all the radio traffic that there's a nasty wreck, and that was right where we would have been. And the only reason why I'm probably still sitting here today is because the fact I chose and said, "Hey, I'm going to sit here and wait till it's actually a little safer." So let's see here. Fitzy without a hat and a Speedos. That is not something that you want to see. Let me guarantee you right now. That is not something that you want to see, Peg Leg. That is something that will get me banned off of Facebook. Probably going to get me put in jail. It's just like there's certain parts of like the fits that you don't want to see. I'm telling you. What do you do when your heater goes out in sub-zero temperatures? Ooh, there's a good one. I like that. So, one, make sure your heater don't go out. Number two, sub-zero temperatures. Your heater goes out in sub-zero temperatures. One, I'd be idling that truck. If the heater in the truck won't go, what I would be doing is I would actually pop the hood and kind of get close to the engine. You want to get close to and get every available piece of clothing, what you have, put it on. If you have a sleeping bag, sit in the sleeping bag. Try to get help to you as soon as what you can. That's why also you want to carry like an emergency kit. Carry a Mylar blanket. If you get a Mylar blanket, that'll keep you warm as well. At the end of the day, burn the bitch to the ground. Burn it up. Start your fire. Keep warm. But Chunky Sauce says that's what a space heater's for. Sometimes but all electric goes out in the truck, man. That's why you got to make sure you have some type of cell service or some that way you can try to get emergency services to you. But at the end of the day, if you have a situation to where you can't get out of the situation, I would be burning something. I would be burning something to keep me alive. Wearing a sleeping bag, Mylar blanket, that kind of deal. End all be all. What I would do is if you're in a reefer, this is where there comes into that situation to where there's no load that's so important that is worth your life. You have a reefer unit that's behind you. Yes, we know we're talking about cold weather, and it ends up being that it's heat, where it ends up being cold. But there's different settings on those reefers that it can be set at 70 or 80 degrees. Set that sucker on that and go back in there, or go sit back in that unit. Yeah, you may end up losing your load, but you're not going to lose your life. There's always some way of what you can try to figure out. T-Mar says, I hate the cold. I left Denver, Colorado, moved to Arizona to get away from the snow and rain. Yeah, bro. Well, when you come back here on the truck driving, you can't just necessarily say, hey, you ain't going to run whenever it's wintertime. But you're running to a place that say, hey, you're eventually you can get out of that winter. You know what I mean? I can understand that. There's a lot of people who probably moved from Denver over to Arizona to try to get away from it. You carry a military style down dummy bag and you'll be toasty like him. Yes, sir. You will be toasty. You're going to get that whoopee. Get that whoopee. You will be warm. I will tell you that right now. We got some over here on Facebook. We got Gabino. What's going on, Gabino? I haven't seen you in forever, bro. Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Don't forget to put a soccer too. God damn, Timmy. Like, I don't know what the hell we're going to do with you. I see where your head's at. What's your advice for throwing tire irons or throwing iron chains? My advice for doing chains, I actually learned how to throw chains by just watching a YouTube video. That's another reason why I like doing these types of things here, is because people will eventually search like, hey, tire chains, and I'll have a video that shows, hey, how to do the tire chains. I looked it up. I had to look it up to know it. My tire chains, I've got them back in 2016, and they haven't left the bag. If you have to throw them, you have to throw them. But that's where pre-planning comes into it. There's been a few times where I've gotten close to have to pull them, but there was chain law that was required in going over Donner, going into California, but I was on the Reno side. So what I just did was I parked in Reno. I waited for the chain law to be lifted, and then I got in the truck and took off. So, I mean, like that ends up being what I ended up doing on it. Me personally, I'm not going to go into a situation where I know that I don't have enough traction to where I have to put extra traction on my vehicle. That's not what I want to do. So I don't want to do that. That's not, if I have to use them, I know how to use them, but I don't want to, if I have to end up using them, means I did something wrong to where I didn't pre-plan properly to avoid that particular situation. What's a down mummy bag? So a down mummy bag the mummy bag basically makes you end up looking like a mummy. It's a sleeping bag you lay in. It has a hood that actually goes over the top, and you can actually cinch it to where it actually closes you in. But it's made with down. It's goose down, so it actually ends up being very, very warm. That on top of having a whoopee, which ends up being a parka liner that ends up being down as well. And that nylon with that down, man, it's just like it's your safety blanket. You love it. But that we're getting up towards that 1 hour mark, guys. So I appreciate everybody getting on here. The ones that did, I really appreciate it. Go to military surplus store for the down. Yeah, yes, sir. Go to the Army surplus store. Army's got a whole bunch of shit that they never used anymore. Freaking use that crap. But we're going to go get out of here, guys. I got some people testing in the morning, so I got to get back over to the pad and give me some sleep because I am tired. And I also got to give me something to eat, man, because I almost wanted to eat a bottle here, and that's means Fitz is hungry. So until next week, guys, I want you to go ahead and stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. But obviously, Justin never showed up. We're going to get him. But we'll talk to you guys later. We'll let you guys know how the truck driving championship went. But until next time, this is going to be Primetime Fitz telling you to drive safe, guys. We're out of here.